Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today it's Women's Prize Shortlist Day. I am sitting here bright and early because it is about to be announced. The Women's Prize for Fiction Shortlist, the 6 books are about to be announced. We're going to watch it together and live react. I'm very excited. I'm actually not too nervous this time because I do think there's a good chance of my favourite books being on this shortlist, although my predictions are always so wrong, so we shall definitely see. Before we jump into the actual live reaction, oh my god, it's so early so my voice doesn't even come in. It so happens when you get up at 7 a.m. and you're not used to getting up at 7 a.m. So before we do the live reaction, I'm going to tell you my personal shortlist, the ones that I want to be on the shortlist, and if I was the judge, that these would be my 6 books. And then I'm also going to give you my best guess at a prediction, because I don't think they're the same list. There's been like quite a few on the list this year that I'm like, there's definitely a judge or a couple of judges who have very different tastes to me, but there are some that have a similar taste, which is such a relief because honestly, last year, it was a struggle. There is like one book from the entire long list last year that I have stayed with me and I would recommend to people now. And that one didn't even make it on the shortlist. So we shall see. If you've been watching my vlogs, then you will know that I've been reading the entire long list along the way. And I have read another 4 books that you haven't yet seen in a vlog. I'm still posting that vlog, even though the shortlist is coming out. So that will be coming up very, very soon. So you can see my lived in like reactions to reading a lot of these books as well. But let's get into telling you about, I think we'll do my favourites first. For me, there are 2 standout books from the entire long list, and that is Amma and The Safekeep. These 2 are, I would say, close to new favourites of mine. The Safekeep, I would say, is definitely a new favourite, although I'll have to reread it to make sure. And Amma, I read this not as long ago, so I'm going to have to see how much it stays with me, but such a beautiful book and such an experience reading it. And this one, I think, just has extra points because I was so surprised how much I love this one. These 2 are my top 2. I will be devastated if neither of them make it on the list, but I think at least one of them has a good chance. These are definitely where I would start to build my shortlist from, and both of them are genres that I wouldn't actually usually gravitate towards. This is a historical fiction following a woman who is forced to live with her brother's new girlfriend, and things start falling apart from there. And this is a multi-generational family saga all about trauma, family secrets, and following 3 different women in the same family. Both of them are absolutely beautiful and would highly recommend these books. These are 5-star reads from me. Next up, we have 2 very solid 4-star reads that I really enjoyed reading. The first is A Little Trickery and the second one is A Dream Hotel. I feel similarly about both of these books. I thoroughly enjoyed my process of reading them, but there is just one kind of niggling thing about each of them that doesn't make it, that's stopping it from being like a perfect read or a perfect recommendation, but still absolutely love these books and would highly recommend them. A Little Trickery is also a historical fiction. You're following a vagabond named Tib as she is walking around Tudor England and basically trying to survive. She's living in a very harsh world, but actually this is a very sweet and very hopeful book, and it is filled with love, which I love. And then A Dream Hotel is a dystopian fiction all about a surveillance state and an algorithm that can decide that you're about to commit a crime before you even think you're going to. Such a fun, punchy thriller dystopian of a book, and I absolutely was tense reading the whole thing. I think it was such an excellent dystopian, and I haven't read one of those in a good while. The last 2 books on this list are kind of a little bit more, for me, unsure, but I did still really enjoy reading them, and they are Crooked Seeds and Tell Me Everything. These 2 books are wildly different from each other, but I felt similarly about them. They are hovering around a 4-star read, but I'm not sure how much I would recommend them or how long they will have with me, like their staying power. I feel especially that way for Tell Me Everything because I actually read this a little while ago. I enjoyed the process of reading it, but I would never kind of go back, and I haven't gone back and read the rest of this series, which I think is a bit telling. But this is basically a story about this little town and the people that live in it, and it's got older perspectives like as main characters. It's talking about the unrecorded lives of people and like small beauties in life, and I did like all of that. It's just I'm not sure that it's going to be a complete favourite of mine. And then Crooked Seeds, on the other hand, is drastically different because this is quite a dark and visceral book. This is about a woman who is living in poverty and in squalor in South Africa, in Cape Town, where there is a water crisis. And one day she gets called up by the police because they have found bodies in her old home that she was forced out of. If you like unconventional and very unlikable main characters, then definitely you would enjoy this one, because this main character will stay with me for a long time. So those are my favourite books, and then my predictions for the list is slightly different. Firstly, I have to put both of the favourite ones on there for my predictions because I just think that that's good vibes. Like, I want them to be on there, so I'm going to put them on my predictions. But I do also think there'll be something that's really, really popular on there, and the one that I have chosen is All Fours. This one has been a bit hit or miss, but it's a lot more hit than miss, and I think it's doing something unique and different enough that it does deserve a spot on the prize shortlist, because it does speak to a wide variety of people, even if it's not my personal favourite. I was going between these two to decide which one to put on my prediction list, but I've ended up with The Persians. I think this is more similar to other books that have made it on the shortlist in the past, and I don't know, I'm just going off vibes, to be honest. I do think that this one will maybe be on there. And then the final two that I'm putting on my predictions, I'm putting one that I haven't even read yet. One of the only ones I haven't actually read. That is Good Girl. I've heard really good things about the writing in this one. I think that this is exploring a topic that's not seen anywhere else on the list. So I just have a feeling that this one will be on there. And then the final guess is Nesting, which I have read and I did enjoy, but it wasn't going to make it my top list. My personal favourites from the list. This one was about a 3-star read from me. This is about a woman who is escaping a domestic violence situation in Ireland. It touches on abortion and the housing crisis in Ireland and how difficult it is to extract yourself from an emotionally abusive situation. So that is my prediction list. And to remind you, this is my personal shortlist. So side by side, there's a couple of ones that are the same, but I don't know which one is actually going to be on the shortlist. So I think now I've waited long enough. It's actually already started, so I'm going to have to press play on this because I've been yapping for too long. So I'm desperate now to see what is actually on the shortlist. So let's discover it together. Okay, let's press play. We have to screen record first. Okay. I'm so nervous. Okay. What's going to be on here?
Welcome to the shortlist of the 2025 Women's Prize for Fiction. I'm Kit Val, I'm the chair of the judges, and I'm delighted to introduce you to 6 fantastic books of breadth, wit, wisdom.
Wit. So one of the funny ones made it on there. What's the shortlist?
Good Girl.
I got it right. I got it right. I don't know why I knew this one would be on there, but I just got it. Oh, I had a feeling. I knew I should have read it. Well, I'll still get to read it. She's kind of nice. I'll do another vlog. All Fours. Another one I got right. What if I've got them all right? That would be crazy. I knew this one would be on there.
It's funny, it's so unexpected, and it's a really fresh voice that speaks to women of a certain age, women that are going through some kind of transition from one state to another.
Why are they scared to say menopause?
The Persians by
Wait, I guessed that one too. What? I'm 3 for 3. I'm 3 for 3 with my predictions. Alright, don't get too excited. Still, we don't have Amma and we don't have Safekeep. I'm nervous.
It's funny, joyous and touching, and it grabs hold of you from the opening line and takes you on a wild journey into the past and present with this gregarious and perfectly imperfect family. Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strang.
Oh my god. Where's Amma and where's the Safekeep? How did this make the shortlist though? I know it was on mine, but like, it's like the 5th one in a series. It's just interesting.
Classic style novel with characters that you think about way after you've closed the book. It's a murder mystery, but the murder's really quietly under the characters, and it's absolutely fascinating right to the last page. The Safekeep by Yale van der Wouden is an intense.
They wouldn't do that to me. They wouldn't do that to me. Had to be in there.
Relationship between 2 women
Oh my god, if Ammo doesn't make it, I'm gonna be so upset.
The book will make you think about the ramifications of mass persecution and
But
how
I do have
its lives
four.
are impacted
I've
for
got
generations to come. I
five.
found it
Correct.
gripping
No,
and completely
4.
consuming. It's a debut written with the mastery of a seasoned novelist, and it will
God,
keep
I can't
you
believe the
reading.
Safekeeper's a debut.
Fundamentally, you say the Eunice is
Amma didn't make it on there.
has just been disowned.
Oh no, and I really didn't like Fundamentally at all. Amma deserves it. No. Oh dear.
As you do, helping to rehabilitate.
And Nesting wasn't on there,
I found fundamentally,
which I'm really shocked at because that was like
and above all,
beloved.
incredibly funny. I've just never, ever, ever experienced anything like fundamentally.
Oh god, I just have very different humour from specifically that judge as well.
Something for everyone, and we hope you find a favourite amongst the list.
Oh my god, can't bloody believe it! No Amma, no Nesting. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, how many did I accurately get? I guessed 4 out of 6, which is pretty good, but I am shocked at the 2 that I didn't get. Amma, like, I'm just sad about. I'm not as shocked, but Nesting I am shocked about. Don't let this not make you read Amma, because you have to. It's much better than Fundamentally. I kind of knew that A Little Trickery and The Dream Hotel wouldn't make it on there, which is sad because they are excellent, excellent books, but I kind of knew that they wouldn't make it on there. I do think The Safekeeper is going to probably win out of this list. Can't see anything else winning other than maybe All Fours. But it is fun that there's one that I haven't actually read yet. I haven't read Good Girl, so I will be definitely reading that one. But only 2 made it on the list that I would recommend, which is The Safekeep and Tell Me Everything. And even Tell Me Everything, it's a bit of a mixed recommendation because I think it'll work for some people and it won't work for others, and you'll know very quickly going in. And I'm not sure that I agree with it being on the long list even, let alone the short list, because it's part of a long series. And I know people say that you can read it without knowing the rest of the series, but there is definite characters in here where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to know who this is. I'm supposed to have some kind of emotional connection to this character, and I have no idea who they are. Well, I'm not too unhappy, but we'll see. I guess we'll see what I think of Good Girl, because that could twist this list either way, you know? Like, if I end up absolutely loving Good Girl, then that'll be half the books on this list that I really like. But they have got 2 books on this list that I gave 2 stars. The Persians and Fundamentally. I really didn't enjoy either of them for different reasons. And I think because they're based in humour, I think it's very interesting that they've added both of them to the shortlist, because humour is obviously so subjective. So it's going to be like, you're going to feel it immediately with both of these books, whether you get on with them or not, because of their sense of humour. Persians is more of a dark humour. Well, they're both attempting to be kind of dark humour, but I would say Fundamentally is slightly more goofy. But they also have All Fours on there that is also like more of a humorous book as well, or at least sometimes attempts to be more funny. So I think that is like very interesting that they've gone so that route instead of in like having something like Amma or A Little Trickery on there, or Crooked Seeds even. I'm kind of shocked that they've gone the humorous direction rather than that direction, which I feel like they normally do. One thing though that I think we can actually be happy about is maybe that they have heard the message about the controversial author that they chose for the long list, because Dream Count is not on this list, and I, for one, am pleased about that. I think they've already got way too much publicity already from being on the long list in the first place, and just the big splash that their book did when they first published it. I was nervous to see that was going to be on the shortlist. I didn't put it in my predictions because I just didn't want it to be on there, so that's why. But I have a small shred of hope that they have stepped away from making that controversial decision, because they could have doubled down, they could have gone even further within that and like maintained the course, but they didn't, which is a relief actually, because I do think that we should not be platforming authors that are spreading hateful messaging about trans people. So I think that's all I have to say. Thank you as always to my Patreons for supporting this channel. You're my favorite people in the universe, and thank you so much for supporting me. If you'd like to become a Patreon, I just uploaded my first ever newsletter of the month, which was really fun to write and also get some of your feedback on. So thank you to the people who have messaged me and commented about that newsletter over on the Patreon. As always, there's a link in the description if you want to check that out. But other than that, that is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe if you're not already, and go ahead and like this video as well, and then go and watch all of my other videos, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!